Hi, my name is Jody Shaw. I work at Smith College. I worked there for the past 3 years. Right now, I work as an admin assistant. It's called Student Support Coordinator in the Department of Res Life and Division of Student Affairs. I also graduated from Smith College, so I'm an alum. And I'm white. And that really shouldn't be relevant, but my employer has made it clear over and over and over again that not only is it relevant, but it's possibly one of the most important, or if not the most important feature of me as a human. So that's really why I'm here, because there are things going on at Smith that really need to be talked about in the open. And I did not want to be the one talking about them. I really don't want to be making videos. I don't want my face on a video camera. But I've been put in a position where I had to do this. And I'm going to talk a lot more about how I came to be in this place in another video. But in this video, I'm just going to read a short statement, something that I wrote. And then I'm going to do a lot more explaining in subsequent videos. And I'm also going to talk in subsequent videos about a lot of other things going on at Smith College that really need to be talked about. But for now, I'm going to start with the hoped for outcomes. This is what I'm asking of Smith College. And I'm asking this really for all staff. And I apologize if I'm speaking for you and you don't want me to be speaking for you. I'm speaking for the staff who can't speak and want to be saying these things, because I have spoken to a lot of you who feel similarly to me and don't feel like you can say it out loud. And that's actually part of the problem, is the extreme intimidation we are all working under in regards to race. So here we go. I ask that Smith College stop reducing my personhood to a racial category. Stop telling me what I must think and feel about myself, because I feel like you do that a lot. I know you do that a lot, and I need you to stop doing that. Stop presuming to know who I am or what my culture is based upon my skin color, because you don't know that. You don't know that about anybody except for yourself. Stop asking me to project stereotypes and assumptions onto others based upon their skin color, because I feel like that's what you ask me to do incessantly over and over again for the past 3 years. And I'm not going to do that. I don't think it's right. Stop telling me young women of color have no power or agency in this world, because that's not true. Stop telling me that young white women have power and privilege over everyone else. Equally not true. And both of those narratives that you are teaching to students and trying to convince staff of are very disempowering. This whole thing is extremely disempowering. And by whole thing, I'm going to talk about the whole thing in subsequent videos, but very disempowering and very negative and not helping at all. Stop demanding that I admit to white privilege and work on my so-called implicit bias as a condition of my continued employment. Stop telling me that as a white person, I am, quote, especially responsible for doing the work of dismantling racism. I think it's important to mention here that staff are a very different group from faculty and students, and that our racial composition is mostly white people, because staff come from this area, which is a very white area. It's Western Massachusetts, New England, unlike faculty and students who come from all over the world, because that's the pool if the pool you're drawing from is mostly white, that's going to be majority racial composition of that group. It's a fact. It's not good or bad. It just is. Most of us happen to make a salary around the equivalent of what it costs to attend Smith for a single semester. and falls well below that of the average faculty member. And when I say faculty member, I'm not talking about adjuncts. I'm talking about associate, assistant professors, full professors. So I think it's really important to remember that when you tell us that white people are especially responsible for dismantling racism, you're talking about staff. Lastly, stop emboldening students to act abusively towards staff by refusing to hold them accountable for their own egregious behavior. And I think we all know what I'm talking about there. Lastly, we have the right to work in an environment free from the ever-present terror that any unverified student allegation of racism or any other ism has the power to crush our reputations, ruin our livelihood, and even endanger the physical safety of ourselves or our family members. Yeah, we shouldn't have to work in that kind of environment. That should just be obvious, but it isn't, and nobody's talking about this. I'm a human being, and I'm a valuable member of the Smith College community, or at least I used to think I was. I don't really feel valuable anymore because I don't feel like you value me. I feel like my skin color is the most important thing about me, and that doesn't feel good. I believe my value lies in the quality of my work, the goodness of my deeds, the essence of my character, and the fullness of my heart, not my skin color. So these videos I'm making are really an effort to organize in the workplace for better working conditions, and they're really for staff. Certainly, faculty and students can get in touch with me as long as they remember that's what these videos are for. And I want to point out that organizing in the workplace to improve working conditions is protected by federal law. So staff talking is protected. Talking about this is protected activity, and it really needs to be talked about. It really needs to be talked about. And I didn't want to be the one talking about it, but Smith has engaged in behavior toward me that has pushed me over a line. And I didn't think it was possible for them to push me over that line, but they did. So here I am. And I really want to talk to other staff about this. I've actually already talked to a lot of you about these issues. And one common theme that comes up is, why doesn't anybody talk publicly about it? Well, the answer is because we're too afraid not to. So we all kind of just collude in it, keep our heads down, our mouths shut, because the consequences for not following the script are so severe. And we know what the consequences are. We've seen the consequences. And I'm going to talk about what happens when people don't follow the script, or even when people just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. What happens? So all that's to come, but this is my hello and my asks, my hoped for outcomes. And if we are truly part of the Smith community staff, as Smith likes to claim we are, then we really expect to be treated with dignity and respect, and at the very least, equally under the law as dictated by Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which is legislation that was created to protect people of all colors from harassment, discrimination, and hostility. And right now, Smith, I don't think you're doing a good job of following the law. So I want you to do better. I'm an alum, and this is not a left, right, or a red versus blue issue. This is a human issue. And I don't think my political persuasion has anything to do with it, but I'm going to say that I'm a lifelong liberal, in case that helps. Because I've seen how these things go. Somebody speaks up and they immediately get written off. And I don't think that's fair to people. I think that's killing the messenger and not really engaging with the message. So I really ask that you engage with the message here, Smith. And for any staff that want to get in touch with me, my Facebook page is in the description. Please write to me. If you want me to just tell your story on YouTube, I can do that. I can maintain your anonymity. We can just talk. We can start a Facebook group. We can do a whole lot of stuff with the goal of improving our working conditions, because that really needs to happen. So that's it. Thanks for bearing with me. Stay tuned for a longer video, which is more about my story of how I started at Smith and my journey along the way and what pushed me into doing something so bold as making videos about this that I really don't want to be doing, but here I am. So signing off, Jody Shaw. Thanks.